What are you doing here?
Sinundo ko tong kaibigan mo. Nag-text kasi siya sa'yo eh. But since nakalimutan mo yung phone mo sa bahay, ako na sumundo sa kanya. May date nga raw kasi kayo eh.
Kung nagbago ka na, Anton, at lahat ng bagay tinutumbasan mo ng pera, hindi ako ganun kababa.
Clara, kahit kailan hindi ako nainggit sa'yo. Oo, mahirap nga kami. Mabaho nga tinitira namin. Pero nagmamahalan kami.
Lian na lang, I'm sorry, pero proseso ko pa yung sinabi mo. What makes you think na asawa ko o masawa sa asawa mo? Hindi mo pwedeng asawa mo o masawa sa asawa ko?
Good day everyone, welcome again to another episode of Tax Training. And today I will discuss to you about the difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance. And our example is the case of actress Miss Judy Santos. So, what is tax evasion? No? Tax evasion sa English can be referred to as tax dodging. No? So, yung dinadodge mo, dinuloko mo, dinadaya mo yung tax. No? It is an illegal means of escaping taxation. No? Illegal yung tax evasion. Pinapailan niya ng mga cases. No? Hinahabol ng gobyerno. It connotes fraud through the use of pretenses and forbidden devices to lessen or defeat taxes. So may mga ginagamit ka na mga pretenses, no, na para hindi ka makapagbayad ng tamang buwis. No? So ano pong case na ito yung pinaka jurisprudence po dito sa tax evasion? Ito po yung Utivo Sons Hardware versus Court of Tax Appeal GR number L13203 dated January 28, 1961, no? And it usually subjects the taxpayer to civil or criminal liabilities. Ano po ba itong civil liability? Ito yung halaga na babayaran mo, no? Kung magkano yung compute na assessment na tax. Ano naman itong criminal liabilities? Ito yung liable ka na may kulong dahil may ginawa ka na kasalanan na pandaraya, no? So, dalawa ang magiging kasalanan mo pag hindi ka bayad ang tamang buwis at willful or sinadya mo. Isa ay civil, no? Kukolektahin pa rin sa iyo yung hindi mo binayaran na tax. Ang isa yung criminal liabilities, yung may kulong ka dahil may ginawa kang hindi dapat. No? What is tax avoidance? No? Kasi meron tayong sinasabi na tax evasion. Ano ba ang tax evasion? Meron din tayong tinatawag na tax avoidance. No? So, ang tax avoidance naman, also called tax minimization. Ano ang tax minimization? Minimize lang natin, binabawasan na natin yung tax. It is the minimization by the taxpayer of legally permissible alternative tax rates or methods of assessing taxable property or income in order to avoid or reduce tax liability. So, legal means po to na i-reduce natin yung tax liability natin. Yun ang tawag na tax avoidance. Ang tax evasion naman kanina, yun yung illegal means to reduce tax liabilities. No? So, tax avoidance is a tax-saving device within the means sanctioned by law and should be used by the taxpayer in good faith and at arm's length. No? Ito yung jurisprudence sa kaso ng Commissioner of Internal Revenue versus State of Benigno Toda Jr., GR number 147188, September 14, 2004. No? Ano yung po yung elements ng tax evasion? Kasi ang tax avoidance, okay lang, legal means, no? So wala tayong criminal and civil liability. Pero ang tax evasion, illegal means, so may criminal and civil liability tayo dito. So what are the elements of this, what we call as tax evasion? No? So the elements are ends to be achieved. No? Yung purpose, ano ba yung gusto mong mangyari? Bakit hindi mo binayaran yung tax mo? No? So ends to be achieved, payment of less than what is known by the taxpayer to be legally due, or non-payment of tax when it is shown that the tax is due. So hindi mo talaga binayaran, no, ang tax na dapat bayaran mo. An accompanying state of mind which is described as being evil, in bad faith, willful or deliberate and not coincidental. So tandaan natin to, ha. Accompanying state of mind, no, na described as evil or in bad faith. Tingnan natin to kasi ito yung sa case ni Miss Judy Santos na hindi ma-prove ng korte na willful nga siya sa ginawa niyang hindi pagbayad ng tamang buwis. No? And another elements of tax evasion is the course of action which is unlawful. No? So, unlawful yung course of action. Okay. So, ano po itong case ni Miss Judy Santos na sabi natin, ma-relate natin dito yung difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance. Ito po yung final ng BIR Commissioner Guillermo Paraino at this time noong 2005, no? May 19. Anong ginawa niya? Sumulat po siya sa then Department of Justice Secretary Raul M. Gonzales regarding the possible filing of criminal charges against actress Julian Santos, no? Because nga yung kulang yung ni-report na income tax. So ano po yung nakalagay sa letter ni Commissioner Paraino to DOJ Secretary Gonzales? I have the honor to refer to you for preliminary investigation and filing of an information in court if evidence so warrants. No? So the herein attached joint affidavit of to yung mga examiners na assigned, no, under group supervisor, at sila po ay galing sa National Investigation Division, BIR National Office Building, BIR Road, Diliman, Quezon City, recommending the criminal prosecutions of Ms. Judy Lumagi Santos for substantial under-declaration of income which constitute as prima facie evidence of false or fraudulent return under Section 248B and of the NIRC and punishable under Sections 254 and 255 of the Tax Code. So, every time po na may mga pinafile na kaso sa BIR about tax evasion, hindi na-declare ng tamang buwis, ito po yung mga sections na to ang ginagamit. Section 248B, Sections 254 and 255. In his letter, BIR Commissioner Paraino summarized the findings of the investigating BIR officers that petitioner in her annual income tax return for taxable year 2002 filed with the BIR declared an income of 8,033,332.70, no? From her talent fees solely from ABS-CBN. So sa ABS-CBN pa lang, 8,033,332.70. No? Initial document gathered from the BIR offices and those given by petitioners, accountant, and third parties confirmed the petitioners received in 2002 income in the amount of at least 14,796,234.70. So, noong 2002, ito yung na-receive niya na income. Not only from ABS-CBN but also from other sources. No? Yun yung mga galing sa movies, no? Mga product endorsements. No? So, estimated tax liability arising from petitioners under declaration. Sinong petitioner dito? Si Miss Judy Santos. Amounted to 1,718,925.52 including incremental penalties. Okay. So, the non-declaration by petitioner of an amount equivalent to at least 84.18% of the income declared in her return was considered a substantial under declaration of income which constituted prima facie evidence of false or fraudulent return under Section 248B of the NIRC. No? So, ito na po yung kaso laban kay Ms. Judy Santos. And petitioner's failure to account as part of her income the professional fees she received from sources other than ABS-CBN. And her under declaration of the income she received from ABS-CBN amounted to manifest violation of Section 254 and 255. So yun po yung mga na-violate ni Ms. Judy Santos. No? As earlier discussed, the prosecution was able to prove that the accused failed to supply correct and accurate information in her ITR for the year 2002, No? So for failure to declare her other income payments received from other sources. However, ito po yung sabi ng korte. However, it is well settled that mere understatement of a tax, no, is not itself proof of fraud for the purpose of tax evasion. No? Okay, so yung understatement lang, hindi yan kaagad-agad na proof ng fraud para filean ka ng case ng tax evasion. Ano dapat? Dapat willful ka talaga na hindi nagde-declare. No? Based on the records of the case, the accused denied the signature appearing on top of the name. Hindi niya inamin na siya yung pumirma doon sa ITR niya. No? Mayroon doon. Di ba ngayon ang bawat isang form, no, na tax forms, meron yan signature ng authorized representative or ng taxpayer. At ano po nakalagay dyan? This I declare under the penalties of perjury. So, ibig sabihin, pagka ang mga binigay mong informasyon ay mali, then you are criminally liable na. Ang crime mo ay perjury. No? Okay. So, the ITR for the taxable year 2002 presented by the prosecution and that the certified public accountant whose participation is limited to the preparation of the financial statement attached to the return likewise denied signing the return on behalf of the accused. No? So, the working papers, the balance sheet, income statement, value-added tax returns, income tax returns for year 2002, quarterly tax returns, schedule of input taxes, and creditable tax certificates were all provided by the manager of the accused. So, lahat ng yun ay pinrovide ng manager. So, the court finds that the records bereft of any evidence to establish the key element of willfulness on the part of the accused to supply the correct and accurate information on her subject. No? So, hindi maprobo ng korte na willful or sinadya talaga ni Julian Santos na hindi i-declare yung tamang income niya. So, the burden of proof now is on the prosecution to prove beyond reasonable doubt that accused willfully failed to supply correct and accurate information. No? Stated differently, the prosecution must prove that the accused, a Filipino citizen residing in the Philippines, is required not only to file an income tax return on the income from all sources on or before the 15th day of April of each year, covering the income for the preceding taxable year, but also to supply correct and accurate information thereof, and that any failure therefore is done willfully. No? So, yun yung mga nire-require, hindi mo tinupad, then it is done willfully. Okay. So, the court, however, finds the accused negligent. Ano ibig sabihin na negligent? No? Hindi niya sinasadya, pero negligent ka. Parang may pagkukulang ka rin. No? And such is not enough to convict her in the case at beds. No? So, since hindi siya willful, hindi na patunayan na talagang sinadya niya, no? So, it was not enough to convict Miss Julian Santos. Hindi siya ma-convict doon, no? So, napalaya pa rin siya. And then, negligence, whether slight or gross, is not equivalent to the fraud with intent to evade the tax contemplated by law, no? So, yung lang case ni Ma'am Julian Santos is negligent. Negligent po siya, no? Na ubaya lang niya doon sa kanyang mga manager yung pagbabayad niya ng tax, no? Fraud must amount to intentional wrongdoing with the sole object of avoiding the tax, no? So, the court also notes the intention of the accused to settle the case were it not for the opposition of her manager and then counsel, which negates any motive of the accused to commit fraud, no? Kasi based on the opinion, si Miss Judy Ann willing na magbayad, but her manager and counsel ayaw. So, in criminal cases, speculations cannot substitute for proof in establishing the guilt of the accused. Indeed, suspicion, no matter how strong, must never sway judgment. No? Kung may reasonable doubt talaga, the accused must be acquitted, and even though their innocence may not have been established. No? So, the Constitution presumes person innocent until proven guilty by proof beyond reasonable doubt. When guilt is not proven with moral certainty, it has been our policy of long standing that the presumption of innocence must be favored and exoneration granted as a matter of right. No? So, walang kasalanan si Miss Judy tungkol sa fraud, hindi niya sinadya. So, ano na lang yung liability niya? Only the civil liability. Okay, so, ang court, hindi niya na patunayan na si Miss Julian Santos is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. No? So, hindi siya guilty. Assessment against the accused. So, ito naman ang mangyayari. Ano na lang mangyayari doon sa case ni Miss Judy kasi acquitted na siya sa criminal case. No? The civil liability is still there. No? So, dapat pa rin siya magbayad. So, in case of acquittal, no? Acquittal, ibig sabihin na absuelto na siya. No? Hindi siya guilty. No? So, in case of acquittal, the accused may still be adjudged civilly liable. No? So, the extension of the penal action does not carry with it the extinction of the civil action. No? So, kung wala na yung penal, hindi pwede na pati yung civil wala din. No? So, where the acquittal is based on reasonable doubt, as only preponderance of evidence is required. The court declares the liability of the accused is only civil. No? The civil liability of the accused does not arise from or is not based upon the crime of which the accused was acquitted. No? Based on the records of the case, no, ito yung case ni Miss Judy the preliminary assessment notice noong 2007 in the aggregate amount of 3,333,490.74 was received on November 13, 2007. No? Formal letter of demand dated January 14, 2008 for deficiency income tax for year ending December 31, 2002. No? So, aggregate amount is 3,418,034.78 was received on January 1, 2008. So, ito yung amount no, na pinapabayad kay Miss Julian Santos. The 3,418,034.78. Ano tong period ng limitation upon assessment and collection? Ito po yung due process and tax audit na na-discuss na natin sa YouTube channel din po natin. So, internal revenue taxes shall be assessed within 3 years after the last day prescribed by law for the filing of the return and no proceeding in court without assessment. No? So, ito yung period na limitation upon assessment and collection. Collection of taxes shall begin after the expiration of the period. In case there is a return filed beyond the period prescribed by law, 3-year period shall be counted from the day the return was filed. The records of the income tax return of Ms. Julian Santos for the taxable year 2002 was filed on April 15, 2003. So, counting 3 years from the said date, the commissioner can validly issue an assessment against the accused until April 1, 2006. So, assessment issue thereafter is deemed invalid. Okay. So, the ITR of the accused failed to fully declare her other income payments. Thus, the same falls under one of the exception in Section 222A. No? So, ano pong sinasabi dito sa Section 22? About the period of limitations of assessment and collections. No? So, yung mga taxes no, na hindi pa na collect before the 3 years, nagpe-prescribe na sila. But itong sinasabi dito, 10 years muna bago na-discovery ang fraud. So, hindi pa siya nagpe-prescribe. In the case of false or fraudulent return with intent to evade tax or failure to file a return, the tax may be assessed or proceeding in court for the collection of such tax may be filed without assessment at any time within 10 years after the discovery of the falsity, fraud, or omission. In a fraud assessment which has become final and executory, the fact of fraud shall be judicially taken cognizance of the civil or criminal action for the collection thereof. So, yun po yung section 222. But before the preliminary assessment notice, September 25, 2007, received on November 13, 2007, and the formal letter of demand dated January 14, 2008, received on January 15, 2008, were made within the 10-year period. No? Okay, so section 228, protesting the assessment. So, when the commissioner or his duly authorized representative finds that proper taxes should be assessed, he shall first notify the taxpayer of his findings. No? Okay. But in some cases, meron pong dino-do away po yung pre-assessment notice. No? So, within the period prescribed by implementing rules and regulation, taxpayer shall be required to respond to said notice immediately, no? So, taxpayer fails to refund the commissioner, his duly authorized representative will issue an assessment based on his findings, no? Assessment may be protested administratively by filing a request for reconsideration or reinvestigation within 30 days from the receipt of the assessment, no? So, if the protest is denied in whole or in part, or is not acted within 180 days from submission of documents, taxpayer adversely affected by the decision or inaction may appeal in the Court of Tax Appeals, no? Within 30 days from receipt of the said decision or from the lapse of 180-day period. Otherwise, the decision shall become final, executory, and demandable. So, what happened to the records of the case of Judy and Santos? Okay, so it shows clearly that the accused failed to file and protect against the formal letter of demand. So, received on January 15, 2008, the same had become final and may no longer be set aside. Accused is still liable to pay the deficiency taxes for the taxable year 2002 in the amount of 3,418,034.75. So, on the ground of reasonable doubt, no? Kasi hindi po tayo pwede mag-convict ng isang, sabi natin, nagkamali kung walang ground for reasonable doubt, no? So, Judy Ann Santos Ilumagi is hereby acquitted of the crime charge as regards the civil liability, no? Accused Judy Ann Santos is hereby ordered to pay the amount of 3,418,034.78, no? So, representing income tax deficiency for the taxable year 2002, including penalties and interest. In addition, accused Judy Ann Santos Lumagi hereby ordered to pay, no, the 20% delinquency interest on the total amount of 3,418,034.78, no? Computed from July 15, 2008 until fully paid, no? Anong section niya? 249 of the National Internal Revenue Code. Sino nagbigay ng decision niya? Si Associate Justice Lowell Bautista. Okay. And it was certified by Juanito is Castañeda Jr., the acting presiding justice. Okay? So, ano po yung difference ng tax evasion and tax avoidance as explained in this case of Ms. Judy Ann Santos? So, tax evasion is illegal. Tax avoidance is legal. no? So, bakit kailangan natin malaman kung ano yung difference ng tax evasion at saka yung tax avoidance? Because alam na natin kung paano yung ginagawa na crime at maiwasan natin, no? Kasi yung paggawa pala ng crime, hindi nagbayad ng tax, may criminal case yan at saka may civil case. So, hindi lang pababayarin ka ng amount ng tax, ikukulong ka pa, no? So, yun po yung pagkakaiba. Okay? So, sa may tax evasion lang yung may kulong. Pero yung tax avoidance, wala po. Kasi hindi yung deliberate, kung hindi willful yung paggawa na hindi sinama sa ating income tax return. Kaya very important po sa mga YouTubers natin, napaka-importante po talaga na yung ating mga sales, kung ano man yung dapat kasama sa ating income tax return para hindi tayo ma-accuse ng tax evasion, no? So with this, I would like to say thank you, and sa ating mga YouTubers, thank you very much. Sa mga subscribers natin, sa hindi pa nag-subscribe, please continue subscribing to us, and we promise to bring you more topics, updates in taxation. Thank you and good day.